My name is Paul Kiesel. I am a proud trial lawyer here in California. A lot of my team are with us tonight. I have been doing this for 36 years, although I've only moved with about 3 blocks in offices. I've had this building since 1999. This is my home and love California. The case is here in California, and we'll talk about how the case got here to California in just a minute. My firm has, over the last 36 years, worked on individual cases. We've worked on mass cases where individuals are injured and all combined together in a group. It's called a mass action. And we've worked on class actions over the course of these years. And so I have had experience both in class actions, in mass actions, and in individual cases. I said at the outset, I'm a trial lawyer. That's really what I love to do. I have an amazing team that helps prepare the cases for us, and we take these cases to trial. Most lawyers come to my firm to help get cases ready and to go to trial. In the pre-pandemic days, jury trials were a thing that happened with some frequency. Today, not so much. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, why we're here, and where we think we're going to be going. It's going to be a dynamic discussion among the team as we have this conversation. It should last no more than about 30 minutes. Just a little bit more about me, and then I'm going to turn it over to my team. I have been an early adopter with technology my entire career. I've had a computer since 1984 in the practice. My firm has been paperless for the last 7 years, completely paperless. Everyone has iPads, and this is how all of our material is consumed. And a few years ago, the American Bar Association did a hunt for the 12 highest tech lawyers in America out of 1.2 million lawyers. And I was honored to be selected as one of the 12 highest tech lawyers in the country, not because I can build a computer, not because I can write a piece of code, but because I'm an early adopter, which quite frankly, many of you are. And that's kind of the unique part of this litigation is you all are early adopters. You're on the cutting edge of trading, which regulators have never seen before. Short sellers have certainly never seen before. And what we're going to do is make an impact here. So that's me, my partner, Jeff Concius. Jeff, what do you do?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Jeff Concius. I've been partners with Paul for 10 years and practicing law for many more than that. My specialty is consumer class actions, and that's what I do.
Great. We've got other lawyers from my team. We've got Nico. We'll start with you.
Hi, so I'm Nico Brancolini. I'm an associate here at Kiesel Law in Los Angeles, and I work primarily in our class actions division.
And Steph?
Good evening, everyone. Also an associate with Kiesel Law, also helping out and assisting with mass tort field and class actions as well.
Thank you. And then finally, Charisse.
Hello, everyone. Charisse Cleofe. I've been an associate at Kiesel Law since 2014. I work on mass tort litigation and also class actions.
Perfect. So look, you might say, so how did you get here? Why are you involved in this litigation in the first place? And the answer is very, very personal. And it started because Rick Dalton, who's a fantastic lawyer from Louisiana, has a 25-year-old son, Christian, and Christian was investing using Robinhood to buy shares of GameStop and other companies. And he saw great appreciation in his stock value. And then he wanted to buy some more. And guess what? He was frozen out. He couldn't buy a single share. And he said to his dad, "Dad, there's a problem here." And Rick Dalton, who himself recognized what was going on here, Rick filed the very first case against Robinhood in California. And so, Rick, if you don't mind, let me introduce yourself and tell us what happened.
Good evening, everybody. Again, as Paul said, my name is Rick Dalton. I've been practicing since '94. My primary practice is consumers. I represent individuals like yourself, mostly against automobile manufacturers. So I've been up against Ford, Volkswagen, Chrysler, all the big. I actually met Paul in a class action and MDL action against Ford, and that's how we became friends and co-counsels in other cases. But anyway, with Christian came in on the 28th, upset that the stock price had plummeted and was in a real panic like everybody else online as to what was going on. I was actually in the middle of a meeting, stopped the meeting, started looking online to find out what was going on, and realized immediately that there was what appeared to be stock manipulation by the big companies, and immediately went into action to protect my son along with everyone else that we could.
And so, Christian, how did it happen for you? What happened?
Yeah, so I'm not a lawyer. I'm like pretty much all of y'all. I got into this, the whole GameStop thing about 2 weeks ago and been kind of following it ever since then. I invested a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and things were going good along with everyone else until Thursday morning, 20 minutes before opening bell, Robinhood started blocking buys, and we saw what happened from there. And that's why we're all here today now.
Well, I appreciate you've suffered damages, and I want to get those damages back to you. The damages model. What are my damages? Some of you may feel like you were damaged because you wanted to buy 100 shares of GameStop and you couldn't buy the shares because they wouldn't let you buy the shares. They could let you sell. You could sell whatever you wanted to, but you couldn't buy. And there's folks that may be forced to sell, because I think Christian sold his stock, not because he wanted to sell, but because it was going down and he didn't want to get bottomed out. Right, Christian?
Yeah, exactly. And once I sold, that was it. I couldn't rebuy, and nothing I could do.
You couldn't hedge your losses by trying to get back in to see what happens with the gains. So
Exactly.
Everybody's got their own unique damage model that we'll understand and work with and figure out how to evaluate. Additionally, there are other stocks than just GameStop. There was GameStop, there was AMC, there was BlackBerry, but there were a whole series of other companies that Robinhood and others pretty much put in the what do they call the cage? They put in like stock jail. They wouldn't let you out. You were stuck, and you couldn't, even if you had the money, you wanted to buy, they wouldn't sell it to you. And that's a structural problem with the market. I think what's unique here is democracy has met big business. And this is sort of the first time that there was a movement that said, in this case, you short sellers who think GameStop is going to go down and have bet billions of dollars it's going to go down. We want to buy this company. It's your choice to buy that company. But that interfered with what the business world wanted to do with GameStop. It is you individually that responded in the market in a way that had not been anticipated. And I suspect regulatorily, there's going to be structural changes that are going to come from what occurred right now. And I've been privileged to be appointed lead counsel in MDL cases starting in 1994. Was my first time I was lead counsel in a case out of Philadelphia, out of Cleveland, Ohio. And in fact, I'm lead counsel on a case against Ford Motor Company in Los Angeles. That's how I met Mr. Dalton. I'm the lead attorney in that case, the lead MDL counsel. So I suspect we're going to all get put together at the end of the day, and there's going to be a leadership structure that is going to come out of that. But here's the thing. I want us to be a resource for you. I want you, because a lot of you are young. This is probably something you've never experienced before. And I'm sensitive to that. I've only represented small people. I represent the Davids of this world. That's what I do. It's what our firm does. We represent people who otherwise don't have a voice in the world. And it's important for me, for us, that we are a resource for you, a place that you can come to for information, whether it's sending us an email or some other way we can communicate with each other, just like these webinars. I want you to be informed. I want you to know what's going on. I'm a real fan of our civil justice system. To me, the court system is what our democracy is all about. We saw a little bit of that and how the court played out in the last cycle. I'm not going to get into politics, but the truth is our courts should never be political. Our courts are about following the laws that are established by the states or their federal regulators. And that's what I love that we do. So we are here to be a resource for you now and in the future, so that there's a place you can come to get the answers to the questions that you have always. The webinar is an amazing tool. The fact that we can set this up in such short order, the fact that I can have 5,000 people gathered in a matter of really just minutes. We are going to continue to have this dialogue with each other so that you know exactly what's happening and answer your questions. And we are all going to move forward. This is an emerging challenge for all of us. And I'm confident that we're going to get our arms around it, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen like a TV show. I always tell juries when I start a trial, you got to be patient. When you turn on Los Angeles CSI and there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's all over in like 46 minutes. It's not like that. It takes time to build the story, and that's going to happen here. So I really need your patience. But, and here's an important but, you must preserve your evidence. So, Rick, would you talk a little bit about what we need to make sure they hang on to for us?
In this day and age, a lot of the evidence that we're seeing, especially with the young folks, is the screenshots, the videos of a lot of people videotape themselves making trades online. That's great evidence because we can see from that video of the block trades. So any emails, correspondence to Robinhood, or just any type of evidence like that, make sure you maintain the others.
Yeah, and so to pick up on what Rick had to say, it's really true. Look, let the people trade. That's what they were told. Well, you tried. And of course, Robinhood took away that right. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. And while we do that, that's going to take time. And you really need to preserve whatever you have. Don't destroy anything and keep it. And to the extent that you don't already have it, create it, because it's much easier to think about today what you were doing last week than a year from now.
I encourage you, if you have questions, send us those questions by email. I'm happy to have the team respond to them. I want to be a resource for you to answer these questions, because that's what we do. While on the other hand, our focus, and certainly Jeff Concius's focus, because this is what he's done for many years, is figuring out what went wrong here, getting full recovery to all of the folks who've been damaged, whatever your full recovery is. That's our goal, to get you that. And at the same time, structurally change the system so it does not happen again to your children at some future time. That's like the most important thing that we do, is we get to really make an impact on future conduct. When I'm working on a case where someone's lost their life, I can tell the client always, I obviously can't do anything to prevent that loss of life, but what I can do is figure out why that happened. What was wrong with the product? What was wrong with the intersection? What happened that we can make sure it doesn't happen to someone else in the future? That's our goal here. These are financial losses, thankfully, but they're important to you, and therefore they're important to us. Rick, anything I missed?
We are aware that they locked out 30 some stocks. We're covering all of those stocks, not just GameStop. We also are aware of the different types, that some of you had trades canceled. That's being covered by this. It's not just that you were prevented from buying. It's if you were damaged in any way from a free market of trading, we will cover that in this type of litigation. So each person's, damages is different and individual to them. That's why, send us that information into the email, but we do plan to cover everybody. So, if you have a unique situation, just let us know, and we can discuss that, independently.
Great. Jeffrey?
No, I think just in terms of the big picture for the folks that have never been involved in a class action before, just in brief, it's just one person putting their name on it, and that lets the little guy go after the Goliaths. And that's what we do for a living. We do it with the auto manufacturers, the music labels, the movie studios, large companies we litigate against. This is the place that we live.
The way these cases are structured, they are done on purely contingency fee, which means you don't have to pay a penny to have the attorneys do the work for you. And all of the costs involved in putting this case together are advanced by the attorneys. I always like to tell folks that trust is built. We can say a lot of things, and these are just words. But what's important to me is that you are involved, that you are informed, and that we'll build this trust going forward so you can feel confident and comfortable with the information we're sharing with you, and that we are a resource for you to ask questions going forward. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be doing this again. I know there's lots of questions still, but we'll get those answers. Charisse, Jeff, Nico, Stephanie, of course, Christian, and Rick, I thank you guys very much, and look forward to working with everybody. Okay? Peace out all. Bye.